Let me tell you, you think you've seen heartbreak in a courtroom. You think you've seen the toughest men break down over a verdict, but nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever prepare you for the day when three little girls, soaked to the bone and clutching nothing but a beat-up teddy, a shivering kitten, and an old letter, walk through those heavy doors like they own the place, or maybe like they got nothing left to lose either way. You just know right then, you're about to witness something. You'll never forget, no matter how many years you spend behind that bench, no matter how many criminals you've locked away. You know what I mean? It was a Tuesday, rain coming down in sheets, so hard you could barely hear yourself think over the drumming on the courthouse windows, the smell of wet coats, old coffee, all of it mixing with the kind of tension you only get when the whole room is waiting for something to explode, and the judge, yeah, that's me, or it could be you if you've ever thought your life was already set in stone, already weighed and measured by all those years, and all those verdicts, just sitting up there, staring at a stack of files, cold and tired, and thinking you've seen it all, and then out of nowhere, those girls show up, trailing puddles behind them like they brought the storm right inside. The smallest once got this teddy bear, half an ear gone, button eye hanging by a thread, clinging to it like it's the last piece of her world that makes sense, while the middle girl's got a kitten, poor thing wrapped up in a ragged towel, eyes wide like it knows it's somewhere it shouldn't be, and the oldest couldn't be more than Ninesh, the one holding the letter, knuckles white around the envelope, chin set in a way that says she's done being scared, at least for today. And when she looks straight at the judge, at me, at all of us really, there's this hush that falls over the whole place, like time just forgot how to move forward. Bailiff, I say, trying to keep my voice steady, because honestly, this is not the kind of case anyone's ready for. Not even a judge with a reputation for being the coldest man in the room, but before I can finish, these girls just start walking, slow and sure, down that long aisle. Every step echoing off the walls like a challenge, and you can feel everyone holding their breath, lawyers with pens frozen in midair, reporters blinking, even the bailiff in years on the job. Never seen him so lost. Then the oldest stops in front of me, voice shaking but clear, says, "Our mom died this morning." Just like that. No tears, no drama. Just those four words and everything in the room changes. She lifts the envelope, says, "She said to give this to you, sir." And suddenly, I can't move, can't speak, because the handwriting, God, it's a name I haven't seen in years. A name that turns me right back into the man I used to be, before the bench, before the walls went up, before I learned how to hide from the world and myself. Let me back up a sec. There are moments in life when the past and the present just crash into each other so hard, you're not sure which one's real anymore. And right then, with that letter trembling in my hand, I felt every wall I'd built come tumbling down, every scar I tried to cover splitting wide open, because the woman who wrote it was the one I loved, the one I lost, the one who never told me I had daughters, and now she was gone. And these three little strangers were the only proof left of a life I never got to live. All they wanted was a home, not justice, not money, just a place to land, and maybe a father who'd finally show up. I felt the gavel slip from my hand, heard it hit the floor, and the sound was softer than I expected, but in that silence, it might as well have been a thunderclap. I stood up, no robe, no authority, just a man, and opened the letter. Each line cut deeper than the last, talking about birthdays missed, years lost, the ache of a mother who kept her secret because she thought she had to, because the world was too hard, or maybe because I was too hard, and now it was too late for any of that to matter. The girls, they didn't beg, didn't blame, they just waited, holding on to hope like it was the only thing left, and I'll tell you, it broke me in a way no guilty verdict, no confession, no plea deal ever could. I tried to speak, but my voice was gone, dry as old bones, so I did the only thing I could. I walked down from that bench, each step louder than the last, and knelt in front of them, face to face, no distance left to hide behind. The middle girl's kitten peeked out, purring so loud it filled the whole room with this weird kind of comfort. And when I whispered, "You're safe now," the oldest just nodded, like she'd known all along it was going to be okay. Or maybe she was just too tired to hope for anything else. People talk about power like it's something you can hold on to, like it's part of the robe or the title or the rules, but in that moment, all of it vanished, just stripped away, and what was left was the truth, raw and aching and as honest as rain on old glass. I looked around and saw every eye on us, every story in that room put on hold, because what they were watching wasn't a trial, Anna Maria. It was a man finally facing himself, finally saying yes to a life he'd been too afraid to want. She handed me the rest of the letter school notes, hospital records, a few faded photos, and one last line at the bottom. If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. Please do what's right, not for me, but for them. And man, if you think a courtroom's supposed to be about justice, about who's right or wrong, let me tell you, sometimes it's just about being human, about saying yes to the pain and the love and all the messy parts in between. I stood up, voice steady this time, looked at the room, those lawyers, those strangers, even the bailiff who'd seen all, and said, "This court is adjourned until further notice." Then I turned to those girls, me girls, and said, "Let's go home. Didn't matter where, just as long as it was together." For the first time, I broke a rule not because I wanted to, but because love didn't give me a choice, you know? We walked out hand in hand, and as we passed through those heavy doors, everyone in that room stood up, no orders, no protocol, just this silent understanding that something had changed, something bigger than the law, bigger than any verdict. Maybe it was grace, maybe it was mercy, maybe just the simple truth that sometimes the heart has its own kind of justice. And I swear, as we stepped into the gray light in the rain, I knew nothing would ever be the same, not for me, not for them, not for anyone who saw it happen. Maybe you think the story ends there, with a happy reunion, with a judge finally finding his family, but the truth is, life doesn't tie itself up in neat little bows. Those girls, they still carry the weight of what they lost, and I still wonder if I deserve to find them at all. Maybe justice isn't always about punishment. Maybe sometimes it's about forgiveness, about opening a door you thought was closed forever, about taking a risk on love when it cost you everything you thought you stood for. So what do you think? Was it right? Was it fair? Did I do the right thing by breaking every rule I ever swore to uphold, just to give 3 little girls a home? Or did I just make peace with my own regrets, using the law as a shield until life forced me to finally step out and face the truth? Let me know what you'd have done, what you believe justice really means. Drop your thoughts below, because maybe, just maybe, that's where the real story begins.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình là mình lên.
It is cold, yeah. Next one? Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to. Yeah.
Yeah, use the fence.